Queen Victoria's sapphire and diamond coronet is a beautiful piece of jewelry that was made for the Queen by her husband Prince Albert in 1840. The coronet features 11 sapphires set in gold and surrounded by diamonds. The sapphires are set in a row across the top of the coronet, with the largest sapphire in the center. The design of the coronet is simple and elegant, making it a timeless piece that has been worn by several generations of British royal women. The coronet was often worn by Queen Victoria as a personal piece of jewelry rather than a state crown, and she was often seen wearing it in portraits and photographs. After her death, the coronet was inherited by her youngest daughter, Princess Beatrice, who wore it on several occasions. The coronet eventually passed down through the royal family and is now owned by Queen Elizabeth II. The sapphire and diamond coronet is a treasured piece of royal jewelry with a rich history, and it continues to be worn by members of the royal family for special occasions and events. It serves as a beautiful reminder of Queen Victoria's reign and her enduring legacy. We are celebrating the 200th anniversary of the births of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, and the V&A has acquired a magnificent token to honor this occasion. The sapphire and diamond coronet, designed by Prince Albert for his beloved wife, has been a sparkling symbol of royalty throughout history. Created by Joseph Kitching, Queen Victoria's royal jeweler, the coronet was crafted with a deep love that is evident in its beauty. From a young queen to a mourning widow, Queen Victoria cherished this coronet throughout her life. The coronet will now be showcased in the William and Judith Bollinger Gallery at the V&A, following a 3-month refurbishment. This iconic piece will be the centerpiece of the gallery, alongside 80 new acquisitions and loans of exquisite vanity cases, brooches, and a necklace adorned with gold, enamel, and diamonds. The gallery's jewelry wing is one of the most popular at the V&A, and these new additions will bring a fresh excitement for visitors in the coming decade. Richard Edgecombe, senior curator at the V&A, expressed gratitude to William and Judith Bollinger for their generous gift of this masterpiece, which will forever be associated with Victoria and Albert. The coronet will be a highlight of the bicentenary celebrations at the V&A, a fitting tribute to the enduring love of this iconic royal couple. Queen Victoria's stunning sapphire and diamond coronet is on permanent public display in our jewelry galleries, home to our world-class jewelry collection. One of Victoria's most treasured jewels, the coronet was designed for her by Prince Albert in 1840, the royal couple's wedding year, and made by Joseph Kitching, partner at Kitching and Abboud. In 1842, Victoria wore the newly completed coronet in a famous portrait by Franz Xaver Winterhalter. Over 20 years later, Victoria wore the coronet instead of her crown in 1866, when she felt able to open Parliament for the first time since Albert's death in 1861, with her crown carried on a cushion. The coronet was acquired through the generosity of William and Judith, and Douglas and James Bollinger as a gift to the nation and the Commonwealth. The crown of Prince Albert, created for his wife Queen Victoria in 1840, the year of their wedding, will be presented in the new jewelry gallery of the Victoria and Albert Museum on April 12th. However, just 3 years ago, this historical decoration almost disappeared from England. In 2016, the crown was bought from a foreigner for $6.5 million. An export ban was imposed after the buyer applied for an export license. The search for a buyer from the United Kingdom has begun. A year passed before the Irish-American billionaire started hedging. His name was William Bollinger. The new V&A Jewelry Gallery was named in his honor. Headdress, fashion jewelry, tiara, crown, jewelry, sapphire, hair jewelry, diamond stone, gemstone, body jewelry. The royal crown of Queen Victoria, created by Prince Albert, was made by Joseph Kitching in London in 1840 to 1842. It was received thanks to the generosity of Douglas and James Bollinger, as well as William and Judith Bollinger, as a gift to the nation and the Commonwealth. What is the reason for such a unified national effort to preserve the crown? A member of the committee that issued the ban told the press at the time that the departure of the crown would be a great loss, given its beauty, its associations, and history. With its gold setting with 11 sapphires and a silver setting with diamonds, it is undoubtedly luxurious. The books describe her design as a small flexible tiara in the Gothic style. Undoubtedly, her associations and place in history are the driving force behind the case. It is known that Queen Victoria wore it in the portrait of Franz Xaver Winterhalter. Her unexpected crown surrounding her chignon shows off her flexibility. Photography, portrait, art, dress, photography, royal collections. Trust, Queen Victoria, by Franz Xaver Winterhalter, 1842. Perhaps more important is the jewel that Albert made for her in the year of their wedding, and which, after Albert's death, she decided to wear over her widow's cap at the grand opening of Parliament. This was her first appearance after his death, and it was one of the few times she widowed with colored stones. The funeral decorations of Queen Victoria, made mainly of black jet, have defined the global trend. The jewels clearly represented a true love story. The national symbol of this devotion is the crown. Diana Singer, a jewelry historian, says, "In her heart there was a feminine weakness for the jewelry that Albert chose for her. Her heart gave them a special meaning. It was a gift from the wife's husband, not just from the queen. Albert likes the blue color of the stones." I always think that this is one of the most intimate questions for most people. This is their shared secret. No matter how historically significant the crown is, it is personal, not a crown ornament, and therefore, after Victoria's death, it continued its path through her descendants. Although the bride was photographed in a more modern bandeau style, the happy bride wore a tiara at the wedding of the Earl of Harewood's seventh son in 1992. The royal crown on Princess Mary Spate, Limited London. Getty, Queen Elizabeth's aunt, Princess Mary, wore the crown in 1922. In 1977, her sister-in-law, the Countess of Harwood, wore the crown at an event attended by the Queen. In 1997, the Earl of Harewood's family asked the Wartski Gallery in London to borrow this piece of jewelry. This gallery also made the gold wedding rings of Charles and Camilla. After that, the messages were scattered. Photographs of the Queen have been taken at many events around the world, and she has indeed been present internationally. It remains unclear who sold it to a foreign buyer. But fortunately, the crown remained in England thanks to William Bollinger and $6 million. The museum is still proud of the love story of Victoria and Albert, as well as his exquisite taste in jewelry. It's a tribute to both of them. Timeline of Queen Victoria's sapphire coronet, 1840. Queen Victoria receives a large sapphire and diamond cluster brooch from Prince Albert on the eve of their wedding. 1842. Prince Albert commissions a sapphire and diamond coronet for Queen Victoria, designed by himself and made by Joseph Kitching. 1861. Prince Albert dies, and Queen Victoria enters a period of mourning, during which she wears the coronet infrequently. 1866. Queen Victoria wears the sapphire coronet during the opening of Parliament, with the piece becoming a symbol of her public mourning. 1922. Princess Mary, the Princess Royal, receives the sapphire coronet from her father, King George V, upon her marriage. 1992. The coronet is worn by Andrea Kershaw at her wedding to the Honourable Mark Lascelles. 2017. The Victoria and Albert Museum in London acquires the sapphire coronet for public display in 2019.